Hello, Bronco fans and football fans everywhere. Welcome to Broncos Breakdown on the MHRT Network. This is a show that is everything Broncos, but other sports topics related. I am your host, Bronco Bill. All right, guys, let's get right into it. We got numerous topics to talk about. We're going in different directions for sure. We have some breaking news that came out of the NFL, and I'm going to start out with that right now. Deshaun Watson. In an attempt to have a settlement with the NFL, Watson apologized to the 33 women that accused him of sexual misconduct. He said, and I quote, "Look, I want to say that I'm truly sorry to all the women that I have impacted in this situation. The decisions that I have made in my life that put me in this position, I would definitely like to have back. But I want to continue to move forward and grow and learn and show that I am a true person of character, and I am going to keep pushing forward." End quote. Okay. Well, obviously he's trying to make a deal with the NFL, and I'll get to that because that just broke a few minutes ago. But before I get to that, let me comment on what he said. He said that he says he's truly sorry to all the women that he's impacted in the situation. Really? Okay, Deshaun, you're really sorry. Are you sorry that you got caught? Yeah, more like it. More like it that you are sorry that you were put in the situation. But it wasn't the women that put you in this situation. It was you. It was you, Deshaun, that did it to yourself. You only have yourself to blame. And the reason why they came forward was because it got out of control. Well, one is out of control. 33, yeah, a landslide. That's why you're sorry. You're also sorry because you want the NFL to make an agreement, to come to a settlement with you. That's what you want. Absolutely, that's what you want. That's why you timed it this way. Exactly why you timed it this way. You want to have a settlement that does not require a full year suspension. That's exactly why you want. You said you wish you could go backwards and change things. Well, a lot of us do. A lot of us wish we could go back and change things that we've done in our lives. That's not possible. The possible thing is for you to move forward. And that's exactly what you said. But moving forward requires focus, requires changes, requires not doing what you did before. So in order for me and possibly others to really believe that you're sorry, that's only going to be truthworthy by moving forward and not doing it again. Period. That's called repenting. Okay? It's called repenting, not doing it again. Now, I move on to the second part, the NFL settlement. Yes, the NFL and Deshaun Watson have settled. And here it is. Per CBS Sports, NFL insiders Josina Anderson and Jonathan Jones have reported that Deshaun Watson will be suspended 11 games and be hit with a substantial fine of $5 million. I quote from Roger Goodell. The settlement requires compliance with a professional evaluation and treatment plan. End quote. Okay. That's part of moving forward, Deshaun. You're going to have to be evaluated and you're going to have to go through treatment. What kind of treatment? I don't know. Didn't say. That's not really up to us anyways to know. I go on. Watson's first game, and this is important because I did not think this was going to happen. Watson's first game back will be against, you got it, the Houston Texans. That game will be December 4th at Houston. Wow. I did not expect that. I thought for sure that the NFL was going to hold pat and not have him play in that game. It's in Houston. It's in the very city where all of this sexual misconduct happened. It was the Houston Texans that put up the hotel and the suite and the document that was undisclosed. So why didn't the NFL push for a 12-game suspension and a $5 million fine and evaluation and treatment? Why didn't they push for that extra game? I don't understand. It was just one more game that they could put on that suspension list, and Watson would miss that game in Houston, in the very place all of this happened. Does the NFL want ratings? Do they want people to watch the game to see what possibly could happen? Maybe. Maybe so. I don't know. But it sure seems strange that the Roger Goodell and the NFL, people in charge would say they want a full year suspension, and then they'll say, okay, because we don't want him playing in Houston. So he doesn't get his 1 year. He doesn't get a 1 year suspension. He is going to play in the game in Houston when all they had to do was make it a 12-game suspension. I don't get it. I don't understand why they settled for 11. It doesn't say that there was any rebuttal from the NFL Players Association, and they even said that they would not interfere with the decision that was handed down because the NFL appealed. So why wouldn't they give him 12? Like I said, is it about ratings? Well, the NFL is all about ratings. The NFL is all about merchandise being sold, all about the fans being in the stands. If Deshaun Watson wasn't going to play in that game, maybe they don't have a sellout. Why would they? I mean, if you're a diehard, Houston Texans fan, you'll show up regardless who's the quarterback. But you sell it out, absolutely 100% sellout, knowing full well Deshaun Watson is going to be playing in that game. You know there's going to be heckling from the fans. Absolutely there's going to be heckling from the fans. But it's also going to be revenue for the NFL. More people in the stands equals more money for the NFL.
Show me the money!
Deshaun Watson gets suspended more than 6 games, almost doubles, $5 million fine. He has to get evaluated. He has to have treatment. And the NFL makes out like they always do. The NFL always makes out because they know how to play the game. No pun intended, but they do. They know how to play the market game, and they do it quite well. So we will see December 4th, Deshaun Watson against the Houston Texans in Houston. I know you'll tune in because I will as well. All right, guys, let's go to, this is crazy. I mean, this guy is totally narcissistic, you think? And I'm talking about Deion Sanders. That's right, Deion Sanders. Now, I could call him the jackass of the week because this is really, like I said, egotistical, narcissistic, it's all about me attitude. Well, that could be the jackass of the week, but I didn't go there. Anyways, here it is. In a 2-minute video, Deion Sanders calls out the Hall of Fame and says some busts need to have an upper level due to being the elite among the elites. Whoa. Talk about narcissistic. Talk about banging your chest. I'm the best guy out there. I should be way up here and everybody else should be down here because I'm Deion Sanders. Yeah, right. Okay. Sanders says his bust should be in the quote, upper room. Okay, let me continue. He says, and I quote, "It needs to be a different colored jacket. My jacket's got to be a different color. My head doesn't belong with some of these other heads that's in the hall. Put my head where it's supposed to be. My head isn't supposed to be by them." End quote. Whoa! Deion Sanders, you have some big cojones. That's all I can say. Absolutely. I mean, what makes you think you're better than, I don't know, anybody else in there? any other safety or corner or wide receiver or quarterback or running back. What makes you better? Because you went to more Pro Bowls than somebody else? Well, guess what? It's a different era when you played. Different era than when Johnny Unitas played, or Bart Starr, or John Elway. Well, okay, played in the same era as John Elway, yes. But you're no better than John Elway. You're no better than Johnny Unitas or a Barry Sanders or a Terrell Davis. You're not better. You may be better than somebody alongside of what you did. Maybe that's true. And if they are in the Hall of Fame, you don't need to be any higher than them. It's not about the Hall of Deion Sanders, okay? It's not. It's not about Deion Sanders. It's about the best players, not players in the NFL. Period. Throughout generations, throughout decades, throughout seasons, throughout careers. It's not about Deion Sanders. Get over it. Get over the fact that you got a gold jacket just like Terrell Davis, just like John Elway, just like Johnny Unitas, just like Barry Sanders. Same color, guys. Same color. Because everybody is equal. Unless you're Deion Sanders and you think you're, up here. You're not. You are not. You know what, Deion? You should be absolutely grateful and thankful that you're in the NFL Hall of Fame. Or that you even played in the NFL. Do you realize that you had to be drafted or undrafted free agent, depending on, whomever's in the Hall of Fame? And you have to be chosen by that team that has confidence that you're going to be a good player. Nobody expects to go into the Hall of Fame. Well, maybe you do, because you already put yourself at the very top. Well, guess what? You're not at the very top. And you should be grateful that you are even in the Hall of Fame. Let alone being in the Hall of Fame when you're still alive to appreciate it. Unlike Pat Bowlen. So why don't you get off of your ego trip? Get off of your high horse and come down to reality. And that is, you are in the Hall of Fame because you were a great player. Period. Just like Terrell Davis, just like John Elway, just like Shannon Sharp, just like Johnny Unitas, Bart Starr, and Barry Sanders. All of them. Get it out of your head that you are better than anybody else, because you're not. Just saying. Just saying. But man, talk about egotistical and narcissistic and it's all about me. Well, take a look at what Canton says on the outside. National Football League Hall of Fame. Period. Not National Football League Hall of Fame for Deion Sanders only. Doesn't say that. I go on. All right. Let's go to Drew Lock. Now, this is interesting. I'm going to have a couple of comments on this, but it's quite interesting as to what Pete Carroll said. According to Pete Carroll, Drew Lock has surprised him. Carroll said, and I quote, "I'm surprised at some stuff that Drew does. His movement, his natural ability, his ability to move and throw the ball with his feet into awkward positions at times to get the ball out. His quickness of release is what I saw that stuff is made of. But until I saw it in person, I didn't know how really talented he is." End quote. We're talking practice here, Pete. We're talking practice. And maybe one preseason game when Drew Lock is playing against, I don't know, second string, third string, backups, water boys. I don't know. But he's not playing with the number ones. And he's not in a real game. Hey, Pete, go back and look at Drew Lock the last several years in Denver. And you tell me if you really think he's that talented. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Drew Lock, because I will say this. Under Pat Shurmur, he wasn't really used like Pat Shurmur should have used Drew Lock. I will give him that. However, that said, Drew Lock made tremendous amount of mistakes. He had guys wide open underneath, didn't see them, and if he did, he didn't care, because he was still going to throw it deep and into triple coverage, which 9 times out of 10 was either deflected away or intercepted. Very rarely was it caught. Well, it was caught, but by the other team most of the time. Drew Lock is a one-read quarterback. He reads the play. If it's not there, he panics. And that's when he either runs out of the pocket or tries to, gets sacked, or throws an interception. I've seen it time and time and time again. Reason why I've even brought this up is because I am completely dumbfounded that Pete Carroll thinks this guy is all world. I mean, listen to what he said. His movement, his natural ability, his ability to move and throw the ball with his feet in awkward positions. Until I saw him in person, I didn't know how really talented he is. End quote. Okay, he can be talented, and maybe in a new system, a new scheme, a coach that utilizes his talent, Drew Lock may thrive. I don't think he's going to be all world. Absolutely not. Absolutely, I don't think that. Not what I've seen in the past 2 or 3 years. No way. I mean, look at Justin Herbert. He's been in the league about the same amount of time, and he's proven a lot better than Drew Lock. Absolutely a lot better. I mean, you're going to find out what kind of quarterback you have within the first couple of years. I mean, we found that out with Tim Tebow. As much as I love Tim Tebow, and I know some of you guys out there going, really? Yeah, I really did. Okay, so let's move on. Drew Lock, if he doesn't show improvement in a couple 2 or 3 years of being in the NFL, then that's pretty much what you have. I mean, look across the league. Look at Baker Mayfield. He's kind of stagnant. Absolutely. Look at Jared Goff. He's kind of stagnant. I mean, you can tell what a quarterback has. Look at Patrick Mahomes. Oh, yeah. You talk about a guy going up. He started in the league up. The guy is phenomenal. Justin Herbert started a little bit slow, and he's moving up. That's not a good sign for the Broncos, although we have Russell Wilson. But if we still had Drew Lock, that would have been a disaster. Absolutely. Because I feel that Drew Lock is not moving up. Apparently, Pete Carroll does. And like I said, maybe under new coaching staff, under a new team, under new playbook, whatever, maybe he will improve. Well, for his sake and the Seattle Seahawks' sake, I hope so. I just don't want Drew Lock to play that well whenever we play them during the NFL season, which we do starting game 1 of the regular season. Drew Lock could be the starting quarterback against the Denver Broncos Week 1, Monday night at Seattle. That would be interesting for sure. All right. Speaking of the first preseason game, well, we were speaking of the first regular season game, but now I'm speaking of the first preseason game. The Denver Broncos began a new era with their first preseason game against the Dallas Cowboys last Saturday. The starters didn't play, but the backups played quite well. Josh Johnson, the backup quarterback, threw a 25-yard strike to Kendall Hinton for a touchdown and a lead of 14-0. The lead expanded to 17-0 before the Cowboys were able to get a touchdown late in the game. Next game is tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time on the NFL Network at Buffalo. Now, do I think that the backups played extremely well? Absolutely. Well, the Cowboys had their backups in too. That's true. But you have to play who you're against. If you're the number 2s and the Cowboys were to put out their number 1s, guess what? You got to play against them. You can't all of a sudden go, oh shoot, man, we got to get our first string in there because they're playing their first string. It's preseason. It's there to see what the backups can do, what your reserves can do. I mean, they started out with what, 80, 85 players? And I think they just got down to 75, I believe, or 73. Something along that nature. They have to get down to 53 by the end of preseason. Obviously, because that's the NFL rule. 53 players on a team. Okay, some of these guys are not going to be there, obviously. I just heard that they cut Boji, or they waived Boji, the running back that they signed a week or so ago. Okay, well, he's gone. Well, that happens in the NFL, and it's sad for those guys. But there's 31 other teams that they can latch onto, whether it be a starting position, backup position, or as a practice squad. Either way, some of these guys are going to re-land somewhere else. But those ones like Kendall Hinton, I mean, to be able to go and make that catch, twisting his body, catching it right before the sideline in the end zone for a touchdown, away from a defender that was all over him for a touchdown, is volumes. Absolutely volume. I mean, let's go back. Kendall Hinton, that's his name.
Who are you? You. No, not me, you. Yes, I am you.
Kendall Hinton was he was on the practice squad a couple years ago when Drew Lock and they all decided, a couple other quarterbacks decided, well, we don't need to wear masks. Oh, let's just tell the NFL we did wear masks and we were apart, even though we were in meetings. They won't know. Guess what? There's cameras in there, guys. And they saw, and you got in trouble. And guess who had to come in and play quarterback against the New Orleans Saints? That's right, Kendall Hinton. I mean, he's not a quarterback. He didn't play quarterback but one time or one season or one, semester or something in college or high school. I don't know. I mean, memory escapes me. Don't go there, guys. That's not my age. It's just, I didn't brief myself on that. Anyways, but he came in the game against the Saints. And obviously the Broncos lost. I mean, you got a guy in there who's basically a wide receiver or a punt returner or a kickoff returner. That proved it. To make that kind of catch from Josh Johnson, a backup quarterback, to a like I said, a twisting catch in the end zone on the sideline. Pretty spectacular. So that preseason game really highlighted a lot of these reserves. One sad note was Jonas Griffith. He dislocated his elbow. He will be out anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks and maybe longer. Does that go into the regular season? Possibly. Not sure. I'll get to what Denver did in regards to Jonas Griffith's injury in just a couple of segments. All right, guys, let's move on. This one is disturbing. Extremely, extremely disturbing. And I was going to make this my Jackass of the Week as well, but I declined because I really don't have a whole lot of information. I have some, but I don't really want to go down that road. Anyways, I move on. Like I said, this is extremely disturbing, and I don't like it one bit. I said on my last show, I don't like it when the Denver Broncos do things on or off the field, whether they're on the team, they're formerly on the team, they're in the spotlight, they're in the Ring of Fame perhaps, they're in the Hall of Fame perhaps, they're on network as commentator. I don't want any negative of anything to come back to the Broncos past, present, and certainly not future. Here it is. Aqib Talib's brother, Aqib Talib, has turned himself in for allegedly shooting a youth football coach to death. What? Wait a minute. He's at a kid's football game, and it was, my understanding, it was sponsored and put on by Aqib Talib and his brother. Why are you packing a gun at a youth football game? Where was this being played, in the ghetto? I mean, what the heck is going on? Why would you have a gun at a youth football game when you and your brother Aqib sponsored it, put it on? It's great for the kids. Oh yeah, well, we got something else to show them. What? Why? These kids were now exposed to what you did, Aqib. what you did, these kids are now have that mental memory forever. Aqib and his brother, they put this whole football game on. This is great. They're sponsoring it. They're behind it. They're doing it for us kids. Ooh, but we have to witness that. We have to see that. I continue. Apparently, there was an argument at the conclusion of the game that parents were angry about. Okay, so the parents are angry about a game that doesn't count? And if it does count, is a game supposed to be a matter of life and death? Is it supposed to be where the parents are egotistical as well? And self-centered, and it's all about them? My kid's got to do better. You called a foul on my kid, or whatever the situation was. It happens. It happens. I've gone to my grandson's baseball games, and I've seen things happen. And I'm like, no, the parents need to chill out. I saw one time where their parents got up and started screaming at the umpire. Why? It's a freaking baseball game. So what? That's the impression you're leaving these young kids, that it's okay to get in fights if things don't go your way. And then you take a gun out and shoot somebody. Not Aqib, but his brother. I continue. Aqib Talib was there also because of putting on the production of the game. And several witnesses said that it was Aqib Talib that started the initial fight by throwing the first punch that led to his brother's shooting the football coach to death. Aqib Talib throws the first punch? I'm thinking, wait a minute. That doesn't sound like him. Oh, yes, it does. Oh, yes, it does. Do you remember the game? I forget who it was against, where he ripped off the receiver's chain. I don't know if it was a Raiders or Redskins, or I don't know who it was. I can't remember at this point. But I know he ripped and pulled the chain off of the receiver neck, broke it, expensive chain, obviously, throws it on the ground, and walks away. All because of the play, perhaps, or maybe trash talking. I don't know. But if Aqib Talib is that quick to pull the trigger, no pun intended, but if the shoe fits, if he's that quick to aggression, this doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me one bit. Shocks me, yes, because you're at a youth football game where you should be more mature, since you're the one sponsoring it and putting it on. I thought you're a role model. You still are, even though you're not playing anymore. What does this mean for his off the field NFL contracts? Like not NFL contracts per se, but working in the booth, ESPN, NBC, CBS, ABC, Fox, a host of other places. What does this do? Does the NFL take action on this? They should. Absolutely, they should. 100%. If he's going to be employed by ESPN or NBC or whomever, the NFL should step in. I agree. I don't like the fact that Aqib Talib did this, not one bit. But since he did it, I should go back. It's not official. Witnesses said it's still under investigation, and that's why I didn't make it the Jackass of the Week, even though it was a jackass move. I didn't make it because it's alleged as of right now. It just witnesses said that it was Aqib Talib that threw the punch that started the whole fight. Okay, so ending on that note, assuming, I know what happens with that, but anyways, assuming that he did start the initial fight that led to his brother shooting and killing the football coach, I hope the NFL keeps him away from ever being on a network ever again. Aqib, totally disappointed. Absolutely disappointed. We'll find out what happens. All right, guys, let's go do some Broncos stuff, and then we'll finish it up with an update on the Colorado Avalanche, or a player from the Colorado Avalanche. Here it is. The Denver Broncos have signed a linebacker. The Broncos have signed former Steelers linebacker Joe Schobert. The inside linebacker position has been an area of need for the Denver Broncos and became even more evident after the Broncos' first preseason game against the Cowboys, where Jonas Griffith suffered an elbow injury, which was later diagnosed as being dislocated, that will sideline him for some time. Schobert has recorded at least 103 combined tackles in each of his last 5 seasons. That's great. That is great because we need to shore up. Absolutely need to shore up. I mean, if Jonas Griffith's going to be out for several weeks, that could lead into the regular season, we need to have a quality veteran in the middle linebacker spot going forward. Absolutely. And this way, it gives Schobert 2 preseason games with the Broncos starting tomorrow, Saturday, against the Buffalo Bills, and then the following Saturday at home against the Minnesota Vikings. That's beautiful. Perfect. And then going into the regular season, he will have a couple of games under his belt. And if Jonas Griffith can't come back for week 1 or possibly week 2, then we have a solid linebacker to fill in while Jonas Griffith is out. I think it's a great signing. It didn't say for how long. I don't know if it's just a year or 2 years. I don't know. Article did not say. But I do like it because every little bit helps. Absolutely every little bit helps. You can't say, wow, yeah, Jonas Griffith, he'll be back for game 1 of the regular season against Seattle. There's no doubt about it. We don't have to sign a linebacker. Yeah, you do. Because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. That never really works. Never really works. So I like the signing. I can't wait to see him tomorrow during the game. I think it's going to be interesting to see what he does and how his production performs, especially going to a new team, new playbook, new coaching staff, all of that. But I'm looking forward to seeing Joe Schobert on the field at middle linebacker. Interesting. All right, let's go to Justin Simmons. Justin Simmons believes the Broncos' chances of hosting a playoff game are real for this season. Simmons said, and I quote, "In terms of the playoffs, I'm really excited. I just missed the Super Bowl with Denver. I got drafted the year after, and since then, the best record that I've been a part of is 9-7. Just missing that playoff berth. Guys are hungry, and absolutely Russell Wilson is hungry. As long as we don't beat ourselves, I like our chances of hosting a playoff game." End quote. I agree. Absolutely, I agree. If the best record under Drew Lock was 9-7, then obviously with Russell Wilson on the team, we're not going to go 9-7. Well, I guess now it'd be 9-8. I mean, I don't see that. I see us going at least 10 wins.
No. Mm-mm.
At least 10. 10-8?
Mm-mm. No.
Let's see. 10-9.
No.
No, I don't see that. No, 10-8.
Hell no. I refuse. No.
Or 10-7. I'm sorry.
Make up your damn mind.
Where's my math? Okay, 10-7. I see either 10-7 or 11-6. That's what I see. Maybe even 12-5. Who knows?
I want it that way.
The first several games out of the gate are Bronco favored. They would have to be. Seattle, obviously. That's a given. Then we come home and play. I mean, we have chances big time. To have a great start to the season. To finish 10-7, 11-6, 12-5. Those are very reasonable. Very, very obtainable. Will it happen? I don't know. Season hasn't started. There's always injuries. There's always weird bounces of a football. A call here, a missed call there, an overthrow on a wide open receiver. Anything can happen. A fumble. Heaven forbid we don't encounter a whole lot of those, but they're going to happen. There's going to be interceptions. There's going to be fumbles. There's going to be a costly penalty. There's going to be overthrows. Hopefully not, but it happens, like I said. I don't know. But I definitely have to agree with Justin Simmons that 9-7 is in the rearview mirror. With Russell Wilson at quarterback, 9-7 is in the rearview mirror. Rearview mirror. What am I saying? Miller. Rear view mirror. There, I said it. Okay, let's move on. All right, let's go to Melvin Gordon. Last season, the Denver Broncos had a true 50-50 rushing back split. Both running backs, Gordon and Devontae Williams, carried the ball 203 times. Gordon feels, and I quote, that they, the coaches, have a plan on what they want heading in. But as far as rotation goes, I really don't know. I think they want Vontae to be the guy, but we do rotate. He also said, and I quote, I just have to be consistent. You have to make every opportunity count. I have to go out there and ball out. Hack, as he calls him, Hack told me that it's about the Super Bowl and whatever is best for the team. I feel I can help this team, so when I get in, I have to show exactly that. End quote. Okay. Is Melvin Gordon saying all the right things? Absolutely he is. Of course he is. He wants to be part of the Denver Broncos. He never wanted to leave, and he didn't. He re-signed for a little over $2 million for 1 year. Is that the 1 year this year? The year that he does whatever he can to help the Denver Broncos? He even said, when I get in, I have to show exactly that. End quote. Meaning that he has to show he's worth being on the team, that he can help this team win, that he can help this team get to the playoffs, get to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl. That's his goal. He wants to win a championship. And that's what every player's goal should be. A lot of them just want to go for money. Whatever. I mean, money comes and goes. Stanley Cup, Super Bowl trophies, the Lombardi trophy, that lasts forever. Your ring, the ring that they wear, well, that's my wedding ring, but the ring that they wear, that lasts a lifetime. Absolutely it does. So no wonder he wants to do the right thing and say the right thing. He wants to be a part of the championship team that the Broncos are striving for in 2022. Now, if they don't make it this year, because I really don't think they're going to be in the Super Bowl this year, because of all the things I've said before, coaching, new owner, new quarterback, new game plan, all of that. I don't think it's going to happen this year. Could it happen next year, 2023, 2024? Certainly. Will Melvin Gordon be around for those years? I don't know. He could. He absolutely could be, depending on what he does this season to turn heads, open eyes, and for the coaching staff to say, whoa, we cannot let Melvin Gordon go. The 1-2 punch between Williams and Gordon, that has to remain. Maybe that's what will happen. I don't know. I'm just saying maybe that will happen. Okay, guys, let's go to the very last segment. And this one is about a Colorado Avalanche player. So therefore, I am going to do the introduction to the Avalanche update. Okay, guys, here's the last segment, Colorado Avalanche update. Actually, it's not really the Avalanche, but because the player is on or was on the Avalanche, I thought I'd bring this in. Nazim Cadre. That's right, guys. Nazim Cadre. According to multiple sources, Nazim Cadre has signed a long-term deal with the Calgary Flames. Terms of the contract were not disclosed. Cadre had a career season with the Colorado Avalanche. He had 87 points in 71 games. Now, I don't know if you know or not, but points are calculated by an assist or a goal. So if you had an assist on somebody else's goal, that's a point. If you had a goal, that's a point. Okay, 87 points in 71 games. That's pretty spectacular. He highlighted his season with the game winner in Game 4 of the Stanley Cup in overtime against the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Avalanche, as you all know, went on to win the Stanley Cup in Game 5. In Game 6. They went on to win it in Game 6 in Tampa Bay, 4-2. Okay, guys, Nazim Cadre is no longer a Colorado Avalanche. What does that mean? What does that mean to Avalanche? Well, it happens every year to every team, whether you win the Stanley Cup, the Super Bowl, or the World Series. You're always going to lose players. Am I sad to see Nazim Cadre go? Absolutely I am. Absolutely. He was a mainstay. He was solid. He was great. Put it that way. I mean, 87 points in 71 games. Come on, guys. That is crazy. And he missed 11 games due to injury. I mean, that's insane. That's downright incredible. Is he going to play great for Calgary Flames? Probably. Will we see him in games that we play against? Absolutely. I hope that when Calgary comes to Ball Arena in Colorado, in Denver, that the fans give Nazim Cadre a standing ovation. He deserves it. For everything he put up with, the heckling and the fans and all of that, whatever he put up with, he deserves the Colorado Avalanche fans' support. And I hope and trust that they stand up, give him a standing ovation, and chant Nazim, 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 like they did when he scored the game-winning goal in overtime in Colorado in the Stanley Cup this past year. That's it, guys. That's all I have. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't, please do so. Hit the thumbs up button. I really appreciate it. Before I check out of here, let me give you the other shows that are on the network. On Tuesday is the 5280 podcast. That is hosted by Mundungus Creevy, his really good friend Glenn Hauser, Boggins, and Cam. That goes live every that's changed. It goes live every 5, 6, 7, and 8. On Tuesday, live 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then on Wednesday, we have the Wild Wild West. That features a fan from every AFC West team: Broncos, Raiders, Chargers, and Chiefs. That's live every 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, and 7:30. Live every Wednesday, 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, and 7:30. And then on Thursday, we have a replay of a previous show that gets dropped on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. That gets dropped every 5, 6, 7, and 8. That's on Thursday, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then on Friday, this show, Broncos Breakdown, hosted by me, Bronco Bill, drops every Friday at 5, 6, 7, and 8. Thanks again, guys, for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show. Have a wonderful, great Broncos game on Saturday. Remember, it's early. On Saturday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, against the Buffalo Bills. And then we will talk to you next Friday on the same places that you watch all of these shows. Talk to you then, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.